All right, for these trinomials, we're going to have a slightly different method because the number in front of the x squared is not 1. In this case, it's 2 for 72. So here's what you do. Take the number in the first term and the number in the last term, and you're going to multiply those two together. So you go 2 times 1, which gives you 2. Okay? So you're going to ask a question again. What two numbers multiplied together give you 2 this time? Not the last term, as in the previous examples, but the combination of the first and the third. Then, take those same two numbers, add them together, and get the middle term again, -3. So I'm thinking, gee, -1 and -2. -1 times -2 is a +2. And if I add -1 and -2 together, I get a -3. Now here's what we're going to do with these two numbers. We're going to rewrite this 3-term expression as a 4-term expression. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the -3x, and we're actually going to turn it into 2 terms. We're going to take these two numbers right here, and we're going to turn them into -1x and a -2x. Okay? So let's go back now and rewrite. We're going to rewrite this 3-term as a 4-term. So I'm going to go 2x squared minus 1x plus -2x plus 1. So I brought down the original expression and I replaced -3x with -1x and -2x. Now we're going to factor by grouping. So we're going to take 2x squared minus 1x, make that one group, and take -2x plus 1 and make that a second group. Now we're going to greatest common factor this group. So it looks like x is my greatest common factor, leaving me with 2x minus 1. Here I have a common factor of -1, which leaves me with a 2x minus 1. All right? Notice that in this case, every time we factor by grouping, we should have a multiplier in each term. Remember, these are the two terms right here. We should have a multiplier that is the same. And in this case, it is 2x minus 1. So we take the 2x minus 1, cross that out of both there, and we're left with x minus 1. There. That is the factorization. So the way to check that is FOIL it. 2x times x, 2x squared. Outer, 2x times -1, -2x. Inner, -1 times x, -1x, and -1 times -1 is a +1. Combine your like terms right here, and you get 2x squared minus 3x plus 1, which is exactly what we had to begin with. So this is my answer right here. Factorization is 2x minus 1 times x minus 1. Doing that same process for number 78, again, take the first and the third, the first number in the first term, number in the third term, multiply them together. 7 times 10, which gives you 70. Now, we want two numbers that when you multiply them together give you 70, but they also have to add up to -37. So I'm looking at this and saying, gee, what are all my factors of 70? So I'm looking at this and going, well, I got 70 times 1. I have, okay, another option would be, now both these are going to have to be negative. So if I add those together, that gives me a -71. That's not going to work. If, however, I check out -35 times -2, that's equal to a +70 times -2. And if I add the two together, that does give me -37. So we are going to take this -37x, and we're going to turn it into a -35x and a negative 2x. So we're going to take this expression right here, go 7x squared, then minus 35x plus negative 2x plus 10, and create 4 terms, whereas before there was 3. Then we're going to group those, and then take the greatest common factor of each. So looking here, I have 7x, which leaves me x minus 5. Here, I have a negative 2, which leaves me an x minus 5. So between these two terms, I now have a common factor of x minus 5. Well, let's try that again, Mr. Levelford. X minus 5. And then what's left is 7x minus 2. And we're done with that one. Finally, 84. Okay, again, multiplying the first and third numbers, the number in the first term, number in the third term, I have 5 times negative 2, which gives me negative 10. What two numbers multiplied together give me negative 10? And if I add the two numbers together, I get negative 9. Well, I'm thinking to myself, if I went negative 10 and a positive 1, negative 10 plus positive 1 gives me a negative 9. So now this becomes 5x squared minus 10x plus 1x minus 2. Okay, group those into two groups. And let's see, greatest common factor here is 5x, leaving me with x minus 2. And here my common factor is 1, x minus 2. Between these two terms, then I have a common factor of x minus 2, and I'm left with 5x plus 1. There you go. The three are now factored.